Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to talk a little bit about sister history or Sistory. So my name is Sister Penelope Crude. We have two lovely sisters here today.
I am Emeritus Sister Anarchist. I declared aspirancy in December of 2011 and became fully professed in November of 2012. And then unfortunately, I had to take emeritus status in 2016 because of health issues. But I'm still a sister. I will always be a sister. So I guess I've been a sister for what, 9 years now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of doing the math.
Me too.
So I am Novice Sister Marmalaid, and I declared aspirancy in July of 2019, so just a little over a year now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like we kind of already answered our first question too of when you joined OBB. However, what was your reasoning? What drew you to OBB?
It's funny. I first heard about the sisters in 1979. I was living in San Francisco, and I read about them in Herb Cain's column in the San Francisco Chronicle. And I was like, oh, damn. Oh, damn. That's wonderful. I wish I could do that. The thing is that I was still deeply in the closet as a trans woman. So outwardly living as a straight male. And so, it just wasn't possible. But I was aware of the sisters all that time I lived in San Francisco. And then I came out shortly after moving to Hillsborough. I don't know at that point in time if I could have done it in Albuquerque. My wife and I separated in 2011, and I moved immediately to Portland. I used to tell people, when I lived in Hillsborough, I was the most exotic thing I would see every day. And then I moved to Portland and nobody paid me any attention, which was great.
Yeah.
And I started volunteering at the Q Center, and because I didn't know anybody, and slowly, and I actually knew a couple of sisters online. They had been friends of my late daughter, and I actually met them like at her funeral in Oakland. But we became friends, and so and they had the conclave here, right, in September 2000. So I went to a couple of events there, and I was like, okay, you wanted to do this since 1979, and I went to my first general meeting, November 2011, came back the next month and declared aspirancy and just took off from there.
Yeah. How has belonging to the OBB affected your life?
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Being a sister is such an amazingly transformative experience. I'm kind of shy and retiring. I'm an introvert, but I would put that face on and that habit on and go out, and I would be, kind of a public representation of that, bringing universal joy and expiating the stigmatic guilt. And it was just, it affected the way my brain worked. It still does. I mean, I just started thinking about everything differently. Plus I met all kinds of people. I mean, even when I joined OBB, I still didn't know that many people in Portland because I hadn't been here very long, and now I have my sister community, wonderful, wonderful trans community, things that never would have been possible for someone like me.
How do you feel as though OBB or the Sisters of Portland, how have we changed in, since 2011, or maybe even a little bit before, if you remember what it was like?
Actually, the first meeting I went to in November 2011, a trans woman, the first trans woman in OBB, took her vows as an FP. She actually ended up becoming my mom, but I didn't know her well. But I knew her. But there was a lot of internalized transphobia still, which shouldn't have been surprising because there was a lot of internalized transphobia in the gay community, and things happened over the course of time. It has changed so much. OBB is like one of the organizations that is the biggest supporter of the trans community. I worked on putting together the Trans March every year from 2014 to 2018. 2014 was our first year. We've never had a separate Trans March. And I came in habit, and a couple of other sisters came. There were about 400 people there for the march. The next year there were 1,500 people, and then 2,000, and then 2,500. But the sisters started showing up more en masse, and starting in 2016 did one of the most incredible things that I just love, and had no input from us on the Trans March Committee at all about this. They just did. So they had asked what they could do, and we said, we always have the hate preachers, standing and screaming. And said, if you stand in front of them and make noise, that's great, because we don't want people focusing on them. Somebody in OBB, and I'm not sure who it was, it might have been Sister Olive, came up with this idea. So they made these movable walls. They're long pieces of PVC pipe. With one of them has rainbow flags sewn together to make a wall, and the other one has trans pride flags sewn together. And they stand in front of these people with these walls unfurled, just blocking them. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And and they raise money and give us grants, and they show up and do the door and security and stuff for Trans Day of Remembrance every year. And anytime that an organization in the trans community asks OBB to do something, they do it. They also have made and continue to make a really, really concerted attempt to self-educate about these things. And it just brings joy to my heart every time I think about it.
Trans Day of Remembrance was my very first event in face as a postulant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was really glad that I was able to be there to hold space for that event. So
that was a PCC last year?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So do you have, or can you think of a memorable moment where you had a touching moment with a member of the community, or maybe they touched you somehow?
There's been lots of them, but there's one that I always come back to because I hold it in my heart every day. I think it was the World's AIDS Day Walking Vigil, and I don't remember which year it was, 2013, 2014, and we had done the walking, and we were at Slaughters, and I think they were going to burn the veil in, I don't know, in a little while. But so anyway, so I was outside having a cigarette, just kind of leaning against the wall. And this man came up to me. I had never seen him before. I think around 40. And we just started talking. And he put his hand on my shoulder and he says, "Can I tell you something?" I said, of course. And he told me the story of how he had been raped in an alley when he was 22 years old, and he had never told a soul. In 18 years, I was the first person he had ever told. He had not told his partner. He had just held it in all that time. And he saw a sister. He didn't see Felicia or Anne. He saw a sister and felt like he could unburden her. And by the end, we were just both in tears, and we just grabbed on and held each other for the longest time. And, I told him how much I loved him and how brave he was. It ended with him saying he was going to go home and tell his partner. And that is probably the most powerful moment of my sisterhood. What happened that evening is the essence, to me, of what the sisterhood is all about. That is the essence. It's not events, it's not parties, it's not marches, it's that one-on-one connection with somebody who just senses that you love them unconditionally, and they feel like they can open up to someone, maybe for the first time.
Wow.
Beautiful.
So do you have any advice to the newer generation of sisters coming up through the Order of Benevolent Bliss?
Take it slower than I did. Take it slower than I did. I did my novice project at the beginning of November, and I took my vows at the end of November. And it was just boom, 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 boom. I did have a lot of fun with my novice project.
What was your novice project?
Queer Jeopardy.
Oh, okay.
I actually created a Jeopardy game on my computer. And there were, the normal categories, Jeopardy, Double Jeopardy, Final Jeopardy. But every answer in question was queer related in some way.
Well, I kind of am all out of questions. Do you have any questions, Sister Penny?
Oh, that was so lovely. It just was really great to hear all your answers, Sister Anne. Yeah, I feel like we covered a lot of great things. Is there anything else that you'd like to add or like to say about the sisters?
Just that I love the sisters, and I love being a sister even if I'm not active. I mean, I hold that in my heart very dearly, and it's one of the best things I have ever done in my life.
Cute. Well, thanks, y'all. Thank you again. Thank you, Novice Marmalaid, for reaching out to Sister Anne. And
I have just loved this.
Thank you.
Novice Marmalaid is a very good. I feel like you've also been pretty quick. I know there's also been the pandemic and everything, but Novice Marmalaid also has a a great drive and has been really helpful.
Thanks.
Like,
Good. Good. And I love those eyebrows. Or those eyelashes.
They're so heavy.
I
I have to remember to open my eyes.
I can't see without my glasses. I put my eyelashes on the top of my glasses, and I called them eyeglasses.
Yes, Sister Inda does that too. I wonder if she got it from you.
You might have. I don't know.
She calls them eyeglasses too, so she had to have gotten it from you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Great minds think alike.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, sweet. Well, thank you for taking the time and everything.
Okay. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, it was really, really nice talking to you, Sister Anna.
Yeah.
You know, it was really, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank both of you. And you all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Night.